I have a little presentation. And as she mentioned, my name is Amanda Dennard, and I'm from Texas. I'm a digital learning specialist for Humble ISD. And my main focus as a digital learning specialist is to bring coding into all classrooms. Is this, yeah. Because I believe that coding is for everybody. And there's been a big push to bring computer science through to all education areas. But what I'm seeing a lot of is specifically high school. In the United States, our numbers are about 48% of all high schools offer computer science. However, what I find interesting is only about 5% of students are actually enrolled in these computer science courses. So although we're making big strides, we're still not reaching all the people. Not to mention there are huge disparities and underrepresentation for many populations, from women to African Americans and Hispanic populations. So I think that we need to prioritize equity and diversity to get everybody included. And I think that involves 4 steps. And the first is starting early. It's determined that by 4th grade, students children know if computer science or coding is for them or not. They tend to generalize stereotypes around the subject when they're not exposed to it early. So starting them early allows everyone to believe that they too can be a part of the computer science world. The second is reach everybody. Sometimes what happens is the coding and computer science gets pushed to the GT or gifted and talented type students, or it gets pushed to a kind of extra fun hour after our activities are done, or even the hour of code, which is a great initiative, but just 1 hour of coding isn't quite enough. I think it's time for more. The third is to empower teachers. Teachers have so much on their plate. And if you ask them, okay, now you're going to teach coding too, that could seem quite overwhelming. But with all of the things that are out there now, easing in things like Scratch can be done for teachers in the content areas. And then the fourth is promoting purpose. So we're not just learning how to code, we're learning through code. And at our school district, we have I run a program called Coding and Beyond, and it consists of about 50 teachers throughout the district that are dedicated to bringing coding into their classroom outside of just our standard computer lab / computer science classes. And our fundamentals are in community and culture, and letting the community and the students know that this is part of what we do and who we are. Also capstones. And with capstones, I mean using project-based learning instead of just little one-off assignments with coding. But the biggest pillar that we have is the teachers. And again, this is that empowerment to letting them know and believe that they can do this in their classes. And coding is a great place for PBL. And this I get from Mitch Resnick as he spoke yesterday from Scratch. But the thing about coding is it provides the low floors where it's easy to get started. And it has high ceilings to where you could take it to whatever level you need to. So students don't get bored with that, because those that are just struggling to get started have a place to be, and those that could take it to the next level have a place to be without being slowed down. And of course, wide walls, meaning that my program might not look like your program, and that's okay. There's so many ways we can incorporate this. And Microbit is one of my favorite ways to bring project-based learning into class, because number one, it's inexpensive compared to a lot of the other things that are out there. So that makes it accessible to more people and more schools. Two, it connects easy. It's not too hard to figure out, either through Microsoft MakeCode or Scratch. It's easy to pair up and partner. And then, of course, there's limitless possibilities on what you could do with it. And so when I present these ideas to teachers, I usually have like a 3-step process to kind of ease them into how am I going to really do coding and teach everything that there is. And so I say to just start with a beginner tutorial. And I have some links on my slides. Microbit has lessons that have been created, and MakeCode, Microsoft MakeCode also has several different lessons to let the students get acquainted with how to connect, how to upload the code. And once you're comfortable with that, then you could level up to some short content related tasks that are a little bit longer or a little bit more independent than the tutorials. And finally, after they're comfortable, have them do their own project and create some things. Some things that I've seen around my district. One that I wanted to highlight was this. I have a thing there. A history class did when studying the 1920s. One of the students did a project on the women's suffrage movement and created a voter box. And the project wasn't just about creating this voting box. It went beyond that. The student also had a presentation that they presented with all kinds of information about this time period, but also they did a data activity where they planned like a class, I want to say it was a class picnic, and they chose like, where are they going? What are they wearing? What music? What food? And there were several different choices, and the whole class voted. And so what this student did then is divided out the results based on certain groups. Like if only the male votes were counted, this would be the outcome. If only the female, this would be. If only this group. So they looked and studied the data through these like terms to really get a grasp on the voting movement. And so I thought this was kind of cool because for the teacher, what the feedback I got was, it wasn't what they still had so much learning, and the actual coding of the microbit, it didn't take the whole class after class, like this long daunting project that the teacher had to put on. The students took it upon themselves to add, and it added a level of enrichment to the project that they had.
Hey, Amanda, I'm going to just jump in
my
here.
time? Okay.
Yeah, you're up. And
right.
my little dog is going insane in the background. He's loving what you're saying, by the way.